Everyone. We are here for yet another orientation program for this academic year. Let me introduce myself. I'm Melanie and I'll be the moderator for the session. As you all know, CBSE has initiated several continuous educational programs for teachers, and the main objective of these programs are to upgrade the teaching standards and also to provide opportunities for teachers to have a stress-free life. Yes, today we have a couple of eminent speakers from ANON Global Foundation to give us to maintain work-life balance. First, let me call upon our principal, Ms. Shirin Chani, for the welcome speech. Over to you, Shirin, Miss.
Thank you, Alani. Good evening and welcome to all the people here this evening who have come here to attend this webinar. We would like to thank ANON Global Foundation for giving us this opportunity to collaborate with you. And the topic for this evening is work-life balance. When we look at our lives today, we find that this is quite a recent kind of topic that people would like to discuss on, because we seem to be multitasking, and most of the time we find it a problem to balance work and life together. And this probably could lead to a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, both in our personal lives as well as in our professional lives. So we find it difficult to strike a balance between these two things. One, it is very, very important that we strike a balance between work and life, because that is important for our health and for our relationships. Also, it can improve our productivity. It's important to set boundaries to separate our work and our personal life, not only because it will increase efficiency at work, but it also reduces stress in our personal lives. Today we have the second session with ANON Global Foundation, and we have two wonderful resource persons this evening, Ms. Namita Sharma and Ms. Davinder Kaur. I would like to hand over the session now to Ms. Tina, who will introduce the resource persons to you. On behalf of Excelsior English School, I would like to thank all the teachers who are here, as well as all the parents who are part of this webinar. Over to you, Tina.
Good evening, everyone. Our topic for the day, maintaining work-life balance, is very relevant, especially when we are in a time where we switch between classroom teaching, online teaching, and even hybrid teaching. And in between these switches, somewhere we lose our balance, or our balance gets distorted to a very great extent. Today, we have with us two very appropriate personalities, Dr. Namita Sharma and Ms. Davinder Kaur, to talk to us on the topic. Dr. Namita Sharma is a dynamic administrator and head of school with 24 years of teaching and 14 years of administrative experience in highly reputed senior secondary schools of New Delhi and Haryana. She has been one of the members of CBSE Inspection Committee for a code of affiliation and has also performed the responsibilities as a center superintendent. Her years of experience is in itself a testimony of how well she might have balanced her work and life. Ms. Davinder Kaur is a mindship coach and motivational speaker who focuses on motivating and inspiring the next generation so that the world could experience positivity and goodness in times to come. She is an energetic and creative coach, motivational catalyst, confidence enhancer, and a well-organized woman with values and attitude of self-development. She's running the Facebook community, Reinventing Life, to motivate people in the time of pandemic, and has started a podcast, Rappreet, giving English explanation of Nitnam parts of Guru Granth Sahib. She is an electronics engineer and an MBA holder with 25 years of work experience in telecom and IT industry. She is known for her openness, leadership to build team cohesion, adaptation change, conciliation, and pranic energy healing. She is a proficient NLP coach for students. Namita ma'am, and Davinder ma'am. We look forward for your guidance. Thank you. Over to you, Alanimus.
Thank you, Tina. Let's start with the presentation. Namita ma'am and Davinder ma'am, the screen is now yours.
Thank you so much. And it's been our honor and really fantastic to have so many people on the call. We already have by now 34 of us, and sure, we'll keep adding up some more in times to join in over a period of time. And it's such an amazing platform where I'm sharing a platform with Dr. Namita Sharma. And ma'am, you have to unmute yourself. Let's stay unmuted now. It's our turn to speak. And it's such an amazing thing because we are two different, very different work styles are coming together, and we're trying to share our experiences, how we work it out, how we're really in a position to do it. She belongs to your kind of schooling platform, yeah, very much into the schooling platform, and I am from a corporate side. So we'll talk it out, and Dr. Namita, I'm sure you would like to share something here before we start our presentation.
First of all, I hope that all of us are doing well, especially, I should say, after the pandemic, because we are hoping that the pandemic has gone or passed off. But still, the impact has been very, very severe all around us. And it basically matches our theme today, or the topic today, that people and the world around, the philosophers have been saying that misplaced balance or distorted balance has been the cause of this pandemic and everything else that has gone around. And that reinstated balance maybe is the cause of we people reviving ourselves. So very relevant to the topic today, that is maintaining a work and a life balance, because life is all about balancing ourselves and keeping our goal in front of us, and also working on our misplaced priorities. So we start with the first thing, that yes, first of all, we question ourselves that have we been maintaining our balance between our work life, especially as the community around today is of the teachers and parents, that as parents, have we been able to balance out things for our children, for ourselves, for our families? And have we been able, as teachers, been able to balance, as just now Tina and Principal Ma'am said, that the time has been such that we have been shifting and dangling between so much hybrid, offline, online, but still we've been maintaining our sanity, as well as we've been able to reach out to our children. So I hope that we are able to come to certain conclusions today.
Absolutely. And in fact, what you are referring it to, ma'am, the pandemic time period of these 2 years has really taught us to create that balance, which was earlier, we were possibly running pillar to post and doing a rat race of getting up early in the morning and just rushing it out to the schools or to the offices and coming back. And we were just trying to get on to the priorities at hand, and we were not in a position to focus what really needed our attention to say so. So that 2 years of this period has really taught every one of us pretty well. However, there could be some more tips. So there will be some more thought processes or ideas which we can share it among ourselves, which can really help the community here to be able to address some of the pieces which are missed out and could be, we can relocate and place them in the right place.
Right place.
So that's what our yes, that will be our
goal today.
Idea. Our goal today. So appropriately placed. So let's start the presentation. We have very few slides, no writing material in front of you. We'll be just putting up just a topic and an idea in your mind, and we'll be conversing within ourselves, which will like your participations also. We would really request all the teachers and parents to kindly keep putting something on the chat, which you can share, which you can talk about, or you give your ideas also in between, correlation to the particular topic we'll be talking about. So Renu, if you just allow us to go through the presentation. As we already spoke, our life and our work, which needs to be really balanced. And how do we do it? It's all up to us. So I was talking to Namita ma'am a while ago, you recall, Namita ma'am, we were talking like creating a balance. What we start doing is actually comparing ourselves with others most of the
Yes.
time. What we do is, oh, that person has been making so much of money, or they are able to do it so well. How they are able to really, they grow up their kid also so well, doing so well in their work, having such lavish life and things like that. And this is where we start running around again, creating a stress for our own self. And whatever balance, even if we had in our hand, we create the imbalance for our own self. So I'm sure, yeah.
It starts with dissatisfaction with your own self, lack
Yeah.
of gratitude, and also a comparison with others. Our circumstances and the circumstances of the other person are different. Our karmic set is very different from the other person. So first of all, and then our priorities are different. See, I might, as a person, like to be a little spiritual, like to be a little mindful, like to be less materialistic. I would want all the luxuries and things in life, but again, then it would not be my only priority. So that's how we become different from others.
Correct. And the main essence here right now is to maintain it what you have. The first thing is first, whatever you have it in your hand, are you maintaining it first? And then we are looking forward to keep growing it to the exponential level, which automatically happens if you've got the tricks and tips behind how to really deal with your own self first, and then accordingly taking care of all the people together in your family and other aspects. So very
We can
rightly
do
in the
one thing.
next,
We can have an
yeah.
activity here. All the people who are there in the participating, we can write a B for balance and an I for imbalance. At present, what do you feel your life is revolving around? It's a B or an I.
It's an amazing thing
It's a
to
great, it's a
really
great
see that.
thing if all of us could put in the chat box.
Wow. Okay.
Good, 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 good. It's a B.
B, huh?
Smita
Not a
writes
B.
a B. Yes. Diana writes a B.
Amazing.
Wow, amazing. So it's just reiterating what we are already having in our life.
Already.
Exactly. Beautiful, beautiful. It's so heartening to see that, yes, most of us are trying to or have been working, or maybe we have crossed through the pandemic in a very, very
Yeah,
positive. Uh,
absolutely. The pandemic has really taught us too well.
yes.
And so many Bs. I think almost everyone is balanced already. So it's a recall presentation for you all. So definitely.
The
So
next.
what we see as a life, why not we really look into it? What exactly, according to us, the major components of our life are. So Rini, if you can put this to the next slide, let's talk about that. Amazingly beautiful slide to correlate with. There are 5 balls. A juggler, if tries to go around with these five balls, there are 3 glass balls and 2 are the rubber balls here.
Yep.
What would a juggler try to keep taking care of? He will take care of. He would make sure at least the glass balls are not falling down.
Yep.
Rubber balls still, even if it's fallen down, it can bounce back. And you can always try to take care of it. What are these glass balls are? The glass ones are very important. First and foremost, health, your family, your own soul, your spirit. Yeah. These are the main 3 glass balls people are not taking care of. They're just doing whatever is there. Oh my God, my job really demands me so well. I have to do slog, do so much and do blah, blah, blah. Health is just being not taken care of. Family, okay, I will look at you later. I don't have time right now. I'm running. So think, and soul, you just don't give yourself time. You don't give yourself enough silence
This also
to
gives
know
us
yourself.
this also gives us a peep into the delicate aspects of our life and those aspects where a compromise cannot be done. Whereas places where we can shift or rest back a little are maybe at the work or the friends level, we can
Yeah,
bounce back as the rubber ball does
exactly.
if we
So
take care of the
appropriate.
other side. True. Mm.
So this is where we need to identify. Possibly we may think, oh my God, my work, if I lose my work or if I lose my job, what will happen? I will lose my life. There'll be nothing to do. People get into so much of depression because of pandemic. So many people lost jobs, ma'am. I'm sure, they have taken it too seriously and they did not understand the concept behind what you really have it in your hand was the important piece which they missed out.
The
The
audience,
glass balls. Yeah.
the audience here, if you feel that you agree with this, that the priority has to be the spirit, that is our soul, our health, and the family, and then we can bounce back at the two levels. Write an A, that is you agree to it. You disagree, leave it.
Oh, that is an amazing thing. We are not talking of any
We all
imbalance thing
agree.
here.
Yes. Smitha agrees. Delia agrees. Sunita agrees. Well, wonderful, wonderful. Tina ma'am
That's an
agrees.
amazing participation from you, and
Wow.
we're really thankful for this kind of scenario. Yes, we are talking of a real balance. You need to identify the glass balls, you need to identify the rubber balls in your life, and it's okay if sometimes you miss out on the rubber ball somewhere. It will definitely bounce back. Friends, if they are real friends to you, they will always be there, even after some time when you reconnect. So I'm sure the other pieces needs to be taken care of first.
So
And
one by
while in
one today,
continuation, yes, ma'am.
one by one today, we'll be taking up all the balls.
Yeah,
And let's see that, get a peep into them. True. Yes.
amazing.
Right.
And this is the amazing, beautiful slide of ours. And I love this slide to talk about. Identity. How do we frame our own identities? We from the childhood keep framing our own mindset with whatever environment we are into, what family circle we are into, what kind of friend circle we are into, what we learn out from the school or from college or from the environment or the working area. We create our identity, which the ID is our word, is our symbol, what we frame ourselves or look like. It actually takes a lot of inputs. We all are energy body, we have all the things around us energy, or the thought process is energy, everything is energy. What we get as a positive and a negative inputs in the form of energy to ourself makes our identity. So you were saying something, Namita ma'am,
Yes,
about,
I was
how, what,
reading the other day that the word identity arises out of a combination of two words. ID is my own self, my id, that is myself,
ah,
and it is through that entity, the
yes,
Almighty, that I get my energy. So I am basically a source of that. So my job here is to focus and expand my purview, my perception, to enjoy and to appreciate the world created by that entity. So that's how I mingle myself and mix myself into this entire cosmos as well as my environment. So yes, identity formation again becomes a very, very important part. But for that, again, uh, affirmations play a very important role.
yes,
That is when I identify myself with this energy, with the universe, and with this creation, I have to understand that my entire universe is composed out of one single concept, love. And if I am dissipating love, what bounces back on me is love in the form of everything else in my life. Let it be my work, let it be my family, let it be my friends. So the focus has to be on that one aspect, and also recognizing ourselves as that energy or a part of that. And also identifying with rest of our community. That is, each one of us is made up of the same element. So no differences.
exactly. And you remember, ma'am, we were talking about this expansion on the particular thought process. I just recall a small example. So teachers and parents, our mind does not, you were mentioning this, Namita ma'am, our mind does not take a no word. It doesn't understand if you say no. So
we
that
are we
means,
are in a universe which is a yes universe.
yes,
And
universe.
in the Indian philosophy, the word which often dominates all the philosophical thought processes, the tathastu, that is, let it be as you wish. So whatever
Yeah,
we wish from the universe says a yes to it, because it is a very loving universe. So what comes back to us is what we are giving. If we give affirmation,
exactly.
affirmations come back. So we need to first of all check the words that we are speaking. We sometimes ask for a very positive thing, but the selection of words that we are pouring out into our environment is not a very healthy balance. Say, for example, if supposing I am under debt, so I want to get out of that debt, I would not say, I generally would say that I do not want debt. So it becomes no debt. Whereas the universe says a tathastu or a yes, but the no word is removed because universe does not understand no. So I want debt.
Yes.
So what should I do? I reframe. I reframe is I want financial independence. I want prosperity to be a part of my life. So it is again a tathastu.
Amazing. Such an example. So exactly, this is where we are trying to reach. What exactly we are focusing on, we expand that. So let's taking an example. Let's say if I ask you, so you are sitting in front of us. Let's say if I ask you to imagine, close your eyes and imagine that you're walking around outside your main road of your colony or a place, and you just saw a donkey, a white colored donkey, and above that there was a monkey sitting. But I'm just asking you not to imagine. Let's say if I ask you, I'm saying something, but do not focus there. Do not imagine this. So if I say then there's a donkey which is walking in front of you, and there was a monkey on that donkey and passed by, you found it little awkward, and it was very unique combination which was happening. Now, if I just ask you to open your eyes and I ask you, what were you
Write in the chat box.
imagining? Yeah, what
Write
were
in
you
the chat box.
imagining? Right in the chat box. I asked you not to imagine what I'm talking. What were you imagining?
That's exactly what we do with our children. You know, the biggest mistake out of experience, I say the biggest mistake that we make with our children is that whenever a child commits a mistake, we first repeat the mistake and then give the solution. So what comes to the head of the child first is what you've repeated. So
Right.
supposing a child mispronounces a word, as teachers, the biggest mistake we do is, beta, it is not this, it is this. So the first impression that enters is the last impression. So that's one thing which otherwise we won't be able to balance their work life.
In fact, I take this particular topic in the behavioral patterns also, ma'am, with the kids. We usually have a bad habit. Our own as the parents have wrong habits than a kid is learning more than, we're doing more wrong. What we do is whenever there is any mistake or anything, we keep saying, maybe I use a Hindi word if you don't mind it. Arey, itna bevkoof hai. Arey, ye bhi nahi aaya tujhe. You're not able to do this. Arey, are you that dumb? So what are we doing? Instead of correcting that kid into a right format, saying that you are intelligent, however, there is this particular thing which you need to work on. This could be a right way of placing it. How we are saying it, oh, you're dumb, you're not able to get it. What are you doing? You have to get good marks. So here we are placing those words called dumb, we are placing those words called nonsense. Now, even if that kid is destined to do a lot of good things in life, those words are actually converting it wrongly for him in his future.
That is why our identity is the identity for the child to identify with. Let it be the parents, let it be the teachers. So we teach basically by example. So the first example, the right identity example is what we need to set for our children.
This is so important. Very, very important piece. So what next? It's actually applicable to all, not only kids. We took the example of kids because that's a common aspect here for teachers as well as for parents. But definitely it is applicable to us also. What we're thinking about ourselves, that is what matters. So let's move to the next slide and let's strike a balance. How do we strike a balance between work life? So how do you do it, ma'am? I'll also maybe mention it. How do I?
The most important thing, the biggest thing that we do is that we ponder too much about the past and about the future. So we need to start living in the present. That's where the balance would start. Because if I tilt more towards the past, I'm going to brood or basically going to live into that. And all negatives are going to come with it. Because what we remember generally from the past is this didn't happen, this did not happen, I have a grudge against this, I do this or that. So we learn from it. We do not brood or think much about the future also, because past is history, future is a mystery, And what is there with us today, that is the present, is the gift from the Lord. So it is that gift that needs to be taken care of. And for that, it is very important that I very mindfully, in a balanced way, live my life today, get into action. As in Gita, it is said that you do your action and leave the rest to the Lord to take care of. So you do the action throughout the day, you act, do not react. That's where the balance would be maintained. There's a very slight difference between an action and a reaction, because reaction is when we go into the negatives and when we basically are offended by a thing or into the defensive. Let's measure it, let's balance it out. As a teacher, I balance it out that it is my responsibility and duty to take care of this. As a parent, I balance it out that the other person is not an enemy, is also there giving me as a parent the support to groom my child. So together we are going to, into that partnership, going to groom and polish our children. Hence that balance has to be maintained.
Absolutely. And in fact, while getting into the balanced routines or how the work and life is balanced throughout the day in 24 hours, I think that mentally somewhere we need to be balanced to be able to make our physical aspects or the surrounding balanced enough. And mentally, how do we go ahead and balance ourselves? Again, we'll go through quite a number of pieces here. How do we balance our day throughout the day? I mean, so all of it is as a part and parcel, which has to be aligned. So early in the morning itself, it starts until the end in the evening. You need to know where you're going. You need to know what you're doing. With a calm mind, things can be possible. So let's move next, and we'll while these slides are running, we'll keep coming up with different ideas and different examples to quote. Nothing trumps your health. The glass ball, and the most important one, health, is something which we have to make sure that we are running at a very good, balanced health standards. Because if we are not able to take care of our own self, we won't be able to take care of anyone and anything else.
Yes.
We
Other two glass balls also basically depend upon this only.
this
A healthy body has a healthy mind and a healthy spirit in it. So the spirit ball is taken care of. And if I am healthy, my family would remain healthy, because they would not have to be responsible for me, and I would be able to take care of that responsibility. That is my family. So the three balls move together, or the juggler would not drop any one of them if this becomes a priority. That becomes
a priority. It is so absolutely right. I'm sure juggler must be doing some tricks to keep focusing on one ball at least, and that could be this one.
I think the pandemic has taught us this, that all those who have come out of it, most of us have gone through the COVID thing, or we have seen people in the family going through it. But the ones sitting here and the ones who have living members of the family safe, fine with them, would also have realized that it is this, wherever our health was good, we've come out of it. So we've all started working on the health thing. We all, as Indians, were taking lots and lots of Ayurvedic stuff and taking care of the immunity and balancing our diet. See, again, the word balance comes. So where we've started balancing, things started improving, immunity improved, and we sailed out of it.
And you were mentioning, ma'am, your school also, you had kids, quite a number of kids who lost one of the
I have a strength of almost 3,000 children, and around 25 of them lost one of their parent. Rather, and there's one child who lost both her parents.
That was,
things have not been good. They have been, or maybe some of them also lost their grandparents, one of the set of grandparents. Things have not been good around, and children also have suffered. They've seen so much pain around. So again, this is one aspect on which we as teachers worked throughout. See, the best thing the pandemic did after all the negativities was that we stopped eating food outside. We started nourishing, or basically appreciating, the balanced food which was cooked in my mother's kitchen. And we all switched to that. That played a very important role. So, and when a mother cooks, she cooks with that added love and that balance. hence it worked on the health. So
In fact, ma'am, there is a lot behind, mother's love and the energies which goes while cooking the
yes.
food. So that's another topic to take
Yes,
per
true,
se.
true, very true.
Yeah,
So I think we can continue
absolutely.
with that balance.
Yeah,
If we do
it's
not let
important.
that balance slip, another pandemic would not affect us.
Yes. And it
And
has shown up. In the
yep,
third pandemic, we have just not taken it seriously now anymore. It's high time. I think we have really built up ourselves. Our
I think
immunities
we
are
have
good.
learned. I think we learned to balance this
We learned
aspect because exercise was one thing we started working on. Good food we
very much.
started working on, quality food, and as a result, I think we've started maintaining a balance between our work and our life, especially with children, because work for the children is coming to school, and we have started opening. And more than 50% students have already started reporting to school, and gradually I think the attendance would improve, and I think most of us would agree to that, because there are parents sitting here, there are teachers, and the principal here would agree with me that yes, we have started opening up schools. And I think Kerala opened the schools very early initially, and it
Yes.
worked wonderfully, because without coming to school, without having that physical contact with your friends, with your teachers, with your community, you will never learn the life skills to
Yes.
be a balanced personality again.
Absolutely. This is an absolute growth
Very
factor. Come what may, whatever you say, we have advanced ourselves to a level having everything online maybe, but kids needs to grow holistically, and that is possible when you stay within the community of your friends, with your teachers, with other people around. So that is so important to now come back to normal, and this is the new normal is coming back to the old normal. And let's move next. What we do, so let's coming back to the real schedule thing, how we really balance ourselves. So maybe as a corporate person, I'll give my ideas. Ma'am has little different, but the one thing is very common between again both of us. We follow our schedules, we follow our thought processes, we follow how we want it to be, not really how a teacher should be, how a corporate person should be, or not my neighborhood should be. So very clearly, me as an individual, as an identity, have my own work schedule, and I follow that. I stay satisfied, no guilt, no comparisons, no nothing like that with from anybody else. So how do I do it? In a scheduling, I usually create slots of 2 hours, early morning itself in my schedule, wherein very early morning, first 2 hours are very important for me spiritually. Exercises, gratitude, or listening to Shabad or Gurbani, which purifies my soul, gives food to my soul first thing in the morning. Then I move towards giving food to my body. So this is something I have decided over a period of few years, which has helped me in a big way, because this first 2 hours helps me identify and articulate my complete day in a much productive manner. And anything and everything I start with, 50% of it is already in a positive format with the solution to it. And automatically rest of the 50% with a calm mind, I'm able to deal with. How do you deal with your schedule, ma'am? Yours is more of very much correlated to the school teachers and
yes.
with it. Yeah,
Of course, a personal kind of a schedule is very similar to this, because I very strongly love the basic ideology of our Indian philosophy, wherein it is very rightly said that the Lord has gifted us with 24 hours in a day. And out of that 24 hours, to thank him, 1/10 part of it should go to him. So that is approximately 2.5 hours. So we need to take out that time to return back what he has given to us. Return back in the sense of maybe through a prayer, or maybe through doing some kind of a community help for his community or for his creation. So let it be the contribution to our environment or anything. And then, of course, we start the schedule. I try to reflect the same schedule into our school also, wherein we try to, within the hours that our children are there with us, we start with the same thing. Teach them that little gratitude. We have gratitude jars in our classrooms, wherein every child has to, without any name written on it, write on a piece of paper one single thing for which he or she is grateful today.
wow.
So put it there. You know what happens is it reiterates into your head.
Yes.
And then you start then really realizing, like the other day, a child was saying that, ma'am, you people have been, the government has been saying stay at home. I'm so thankful that I have a home to stay at.
Amazing.
So a
So
very small
absolute.
thing, but yes, it is important. And we need to make our children realize that, yes, if you are not making a schedules, and you don't need to plan ahead for 10 years, 20 years, because what happens is then what children start doing is that I'll do this tomorrow. It's today. Bang, 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 today. Today's 24 hours that have been gifted to me early in the morning. How did I start? What did I do throughout? I set a goal for the day, or basically I have it for my life. What steps did I take to move in the direction of that goal today? I make a plan of action. I come into action, and then I finally conclude my day by introspecting. I like the way you had initially said that towards the end of the day, you sit back and introspect. And then finally, all your thanks and all, you start your day within those inverted commas of protection from the Lord, and you end your day with that protection and live your life today. Be happy about it. Apologize to all those you've done wrong to,
Yes.
and wind up the day and sleep on it and start afresh next day.
Wow. And I'll give you the tip on exactly how I introspect. So I close my eyes while little music and in a meditation format. When I'm done with it for 15 minutes and I'm going to the bed, the last thing, I close my eyes and I imagine a blackboard or some kind of a board in front of me, and I write throughout the day what went well and what did not go that well. And the things I felt was not right, I rub them off there with my imagination, with my imagining rubber. And the ones which were very good and I really liked them, I just sit down and pat myself. Oh, you did good. And this is like thanking yourself, thanking your own self. It's so important to do it. And the ones which are not right, when I rub them off and I rewrite there what exactly was supposed to be done or could be done, and the next day could be better. Next day I would have lesser mistakes,
And I
and
think
improvising day by day.
And I think most of us sitting here today in this webinar would agree to this, that in one way or the other, each one of us sits back and introspects when we put our head down on the pillow, or maybe we sit properly and do it. But yes, do we really introspect with affirmations? So if you agree to that, an A for this today, that yes, affirmations should be our introspection, and an apology to everybody who we've done wrong to.
Agreed are coming. There are
Yes.
A's are coming
So,
through.
Smita is the biggest one to agree.
Thank you.
Radhika, good.
Totally agreed. So it's a process let's get adapted to. It's something you start doing while you must be doing unconsciously or subconscious mind, brain has been doing it. But let's create a little practice. So what will happen? You'll be able to view your own results. You'll be able to view your own progress, which gives you more satisfaction. So there is no comparison to anyone else.
A progress report at the end of the day, every day.
Everyone wants it.
Yes. And that's how we are going to balance our life the next day.
Exactly. It gives a ignition for a next day. Okay, this components were missed out. Let's work on these now.
Yeah.
How will I? So very small steps to be taken during the day. Not too many things on your head. Just sort out only a couple of things and then move to the third if you're able to complete those two. So do not overburden yourself with everything on a same day. So that is what we usually do not try to take it on ourselves.
Live your life for the day. You do not know what's there in the next moment. And it's not our plan, it's his plan. So ultimately, we have the choices. What he does is he's played his cards. We've got our deal. Now it is up to us how we play it.
So
ultimately, what is going to be the end result has been decided. So why not contribute towards that through our actions in a positive way?
Absolutely. Let's move to the next. And what exactly is there? So many other things which we think should be done. Is another thing is a cut down on your travel time. So very important piece for schools, or let's say for corporates. If I say, if you're traveling too much for your location, let's say I'm in Delhi and the Gurgaon is another NCR location, 1.5 hours. Pandemic taught me that you can tell your boss, this is too far off for me to come down on a daily basis. I better be working at home, saving my 3 hours of work, and be productive.
Yes,
so either you to plan, you got to plan. Either go near to the work or get your work near you. So don't travel too much.
Agree. You bring your work near you.
To bring your work near you. There'll be hundreds of other opportunities.
And with children, the best thing we can do is, as we were discussing in the morning, that the biggest mistake we parents do is that we start selecting brands in the names of schools. So we need to do away with that. Ultimately, school is about our partnership between a parent and the school community. And school communities, as per the standards laid down by the boards, let it be CBSE or ICSE or any other board, has a set standard qualification for all the teachers. So teachers are more or less of a very similar qualification in all the schools. The methodology may be a little different, but again, the demand of the methodology can be settled between the parent and the teaching community together. So until and unless this partnership is good, where you put the child in the best of the schools, the results and the outputs are not going to be the same. So the best way is to save on the time of travel of a child. Some of us do this because I know I have children coming to my school who come from, though the norm is that within 10 kilometers of the school. But in Delhi, 10 kilometers is not less, especially if you have 10 or 12 red lights in between of 3 minutes, 2 minutes each. So it takes away your time and the kind of pollution levels and everything in the city. Similar would be in other cities also. If the travel time can be reduced, we can give our child a little more balance in his or her life to shift the focus towards other more productive things than wasting the time on the road. So as parents, I think the best gift we can give our child is not the brand, but proximity. That is less of travel.
Absolutely.
Because any school, we become IAS officers, we become whatever from a government school, from a Kendriya Vidyalaya, as you were mentioning earlier, or from anywhere. My destiny, my effort, and my focus as a parent for my child, and my demand from the school.
Absolutely.
That would work.
Let's move to the next quickly. I think time needs to be. So you can't be the master of everything. Perfection is something a myth. Yes, definitely. You may call it, if you do it this way, it's a perfect way to do it. But no, the perfection is your own perfection, your thinking of being perfect. It is you who have to define your perfection. You need to accommodate what your life asks for. Being too perfect, it is it's so true.
Be hard on yourself.
It is too hard on yourself, and if you are trying to be perfect on everything, it is no way nowadays people say that you need to be perfect. It is what you want to achieve in life is you getting satisfied for. So something very, very we need to take care of. Do not run behind being perfect.
Yeah.
And anything you would like to add, ma'am? I would like to go ahead.
Exactly. See, perfection is one thing. There's only one thing which is perfect in life, and that is the Lord. We have not been made perfect. So we can strive for that. We can work in that direction. But again, respecting whatever the Lord has given us. Lord has given us this one life. Lord has given us this family once. Lord has given us this love and affection once. So let's balance it out and live our life rather than running after that perfection and spoiling our life. So let's enjoy it.
I just recalled, I will move to the next slide. I just recalled in Punjabi or Hindi, we call it, मैं अधूरा क्या तेरे तुझ पूरे के बारे में बात करूं. So it is being defined in the holy scripts. The one on the above is the whole person, and he's the perfect, and we are all half of it. So we are just imperfect. So don't
maintaining that balance, we can work or move in that direction. But again, till the time we don't merge back, we are never going to reach that.
We are not. Yeah. Let's move to the next. Yes, days off are so important. You can't just have a balanced life if you keep running pillar to post between your job, between your housework, between your kids' homeworks and things like that. I think there has to be a time in between when you really take out some day off, spend your time, unplug yourself from all that chaos of the day and rejuvenate yourself. This is so important because otherwise you land up into fatigues. And I think this is where we don't want to get into.
Every machine needs rest.
Rest.
So if we overwork this body machine of ours, the balance would be disturbed. And if we want the machine to cool down and start working again next day, we need to unplug.
So yes, true. And lubricate it a little.
With love and
And from here only, moving to the next slide is very much correlated. Taking while day off, there has to be a time to do nothing. Absolutely nothing. So when you say absolutely nothing, there has to be some time for your own self when you do just nothing. No thinkings, no stresses, no work, nothing. And ma'am, you were mentioning something, you have some period like do nothing.
And a very important exercise to be nothing is to practice silence. So we do it in our school. The first exercise that we did with our teachers was that we started practicing silence of the body. And sitting for 30 seconds and beyond that without scratching any part of your body or without touching anything or without having a shiver or a tremble in any part of the body was just very difficult. And 2 minutes was almost impossible for the entire group of around 150 of us sitting there. So, but today I pride myself to have reached with my students and with my teachers to 5 minutes of silence, both body and the mind. So we try to unplug and qualitatively do nothing.
Amazing. This is so important. We don't realize it. We tell our kids, what are you doing? You're doing just sitting idle, doing nothing. If the kid is sincerely doing some introspection, having a very silent time period, not with the phones around, I think that kind of a silence period still can be avoided.
In today's day and time, that's the most beautiful thing. We should, as parents and teachers, exercise this. And it really has worked. In fact, the mischief level and the negativity levels have really gone down in the school. I see the last few, we've been doing it online also, practicing silence.
Wow. So amazing. Okay, the south side Kerala is already known for so much of spirituality workarounds.
Yes.
I'm sure these things are being practiced, ma'am. So teachers, you can really, keep helping us through.
God's own
are you following something like this?
Sure, they must be. They are in God's own country. That's the most beautiful part of our country.
It is.
Yes, ma'am. We had a meditation point before we start the class.
Beautiful. It works wonders.
Absolutely needed. Absolutely needed. Because nowadays we need to teach our kids what we are learning after so long. I think we missed out on these pieces in our childhood somewhere. And now we are learning it in a hard way. And if we make our next generation the right aspect of living, and how do we really look forward for our next, how do we really work it out? What is the right way of living? I think if we're teaching them in a right context, in a right format, we've done our job at least. So, that helps. It makes me happy about it.
We can at least try that. Yes.
Exactly. Let's move forward very quickly. I think we're not much left with any much. Okay. Choose quality over quantity is very important. Because quality work is what will help you throughout your time. Even if you're running for your work, you have too many things. So I was taking an example. Even if my corporate life or a work asks me to be there in front of laptop for 8 to 10 hours, after 1.5 hours or so, I just it's work from home scenario, so I get this chance. I just leave my laptop, go over to my kid's room, and chat with my daughter for 5-10 minutes. Crack a joke, and laugh it out loud, and have a really relaxing 5-7-10 minutes with her, and then come back to my work for 1.5 or another one. So this gives me now work. My enhancement is done. I was not, just continuously into an Excel sheets and putting my brains in, getting tired, and I made it a quality work. Now when I come back, I'm already rejuvenated, and I had a little time with my daughter. She is happy again, back to her notebook. So it helps. So we need to build on, instead of completing everything to put together in 24 hours, we can just slot it and create it a quality kind of a job, instead of making it a more onto the number of things getting covered up in a day.
Very true. And otherwise also from the point of view of the perspective of a teacher as well as a parent. So when we speak of this quality, we need to basically weigh what are we doing with our children, that are we covering up for not giving that quality time to our children with material aspects? Because what parents generally, my experience is that a parent would always weigh this, the child has not scored well or is not doing well, because even though the parent is giving the best of the facilities, a separate room and the Apple iMac and this and that, so we cannot weigh that. It's that quality time. The parent who gives his or her own child that time, and the teacher who attends to every child in her classroom. is maintaining that balance and giving that quality. So if that quality moves, I think we can polish our children or sculpture them in the right way. If we are quantitatively weighing them with the fee that is coming, with the material aspects that are provided, and then the child also works on that line, then that love or that affection or that positivity and affirmation is lost from the life of the child. So we people need to start working on weighing that and move or shift more towards the qualitative aspect than the quantitative. Let the quantity be less, but that quality has to be the best.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, in fact, these are the aspects teachers and the parents, what we as individuals are trying to take care of, which automatically brings in a balance in our life, our work life, our personal life. Yes, ma'am.
The work life for a parent and for a teacher, the first work life for a parent is his child.
Yes.
And the first work life for a teacher is her child in the class. So from our point of view, if we see the work life revolves around those children whose responsibility has been handed over to us by the Lord and by the parents. So that's how, if we are able to balance out that responsibility through different things in partnership with the parents, none of us forgetting that we are equally responsible. We stop playing that blame game. You did not do this, school did not give this, the parents did not do this, ye bachcha achhi language nahi bolta hai. Sometimes I hear teachers saying that we try to teach a language or we try to teach good habits and they are undone at home. See, I have been trained as a teacher to do that, and if I am not effective, I need to think twice before I am into this profession. And same is the case with the parent, that ultimately it is that child who we are custodians for. That child, the custody of the child has been given to us together by the Lord, and we have to work to the best possible way in a balanced way. So that is going to be our work-life balance.
So many balances we have talked about. We talked about our life balance, we talked about kids balance, we talked about the balance between the communities, teachers and parents balancing on the kid. So there are so many things which needs balance. It is not only one aspect of your day of 24 hours. In fact, the balance is required. Your physical, mental health aspect, your community aspect, your social aspect, emotional, mental talk, anything. You possibly need to have balance across. But don't get scared of talking about so many things we are trying to create balance on. You are in a position to do it once you work on few of these tips given today. You know, not creating everything to be perfect.
Just sit back, do nothing, and just think about it, that yes, after that, have I done something? I think it works. It works.
Everyone's life is different. Your life is very much different than another teacher's life is. So you have to just introspect and look into what is it works for you. What is it doesn't work for you? What is it you need to improve so that your life becomes easier? That's it. No other comparisons can work for you.
Yep.
That is important. Do we have any other slide, or we can just open?
I think the last one you had was that, yes.
This is the most important one. See, profession, if becomes passion, and a passion, if becomes profession, you don't feel the burden of it ever. So engineer, maa baap engineer, kid also engineer. Kid doesn't want to do engineering, but still being asked to keep studying, science student, you need to become, it becomes difficult for that kid
also
to follow.
See, we can add one more thing to this. Passion is equal to profession is equal to balance.
Yeah, it actually helps you if you really follow what you love to do and get into it slowly over a period of time. Money is a byproduct again, an energy which flows automatically in your life. Every profession can create money, can create abundance if it is passionately followed. So don't run behind high valued, professions, not necessarily meant for you.
The pandemic has given us a major shift. I was reading a book called Shift, where the tagline was moving from ambition to meaning. Give your life meaning by pursuing your passion. First, we need to think and sit back and identify our passion. and then convert that into profession. See, what has been done in our lives is done. It's difficult to undo it at this stage, may it be the teachers or the parents. But yes, we can try to maintain that balance and bring that balance about in our children. We've all seen that movie, the one wherein there were three engineers studying in an engineering college.
Three idiots.
Three idiots, yes. So, the moment they started pursuing their passions, and that's really what happens in life. Pursue
Right.
your passion, that make it your profession, and money flows, abundance flows.
Abundance flows, not
Life
only money.
and life becomes balanced and beautiful.
Amazing. Yes, Renu, do we have any other slide? I'm just thinking this is the last one now. Okay, there's no such thing as work-life balance. Now, the whole thing we've been talking about for an hour, we are saying nothing called as a work-life balance. Why? Because it is within you. It is balancing yourself. Automatically, things will get balanced. Your mental, emotional, physical, etherical. If your levels are balanced, you can balance anything in your life. You can balance
Otherwise
anything
also,
around you.
otherwise also, the only thing we need to do is we need to let go and go back to our original. That's how the Lord created us. He created us as very balanced personalities and organisms on this earth. So we just need to flow with that. If we do that, there's no need of having this concept or discussion of having a balance. Just live by the rule set by nature, live with the flow, and life becomes beautiful and abundant.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Our work is done. It is for the children now that we need to start working. So let's not tax them with our worries and stresses and shift that to them, expectations and so much planning. Let's start living life per day, and let's give them that base of balance in their lives.
So for these couple of minutes, teachers, if you would like to share something which, you feel that, you are taking care of, or other could be a good example for others, or there could be somebody who wants to get into a balancing and missing out somewhere and need some kind of a help or a guidance or any suggestions, you're most welcome to kindly speak out and let us know if you would need any help.
Now the forum is open to raise your queries. Feel free to ask and make full use of this opportunity, teachers. Okay, ma'am, I have a question with me. The question goes like this: how to achieve a stress-free life?
Very holistic. Stress is part and parcel of you nowadays on a daily basis. So what we spoke about the first 2 hours of the day, which we spend, actually 70 to 80% of stressfulness is taken care of in that particular time period. Rest of the 20%, it varies. For a fraction of seconds, it may come up, but I know how to now deal with it. Because you can't avoid anything negative happening to your life at all. What you can do is to deal with it and efficiently deal with it. The first 2 hours of the morning, gratitude, listening to your own self-introspection, and just calming yourself, aligning your soul, aligning yourself with your creation helps me a big way. Namita ma'am, if you have any suggestions.
It is also the focus. What do you focus on? If you focus on the problem expands. You focus on the solution expands. When the solution expands, stress goes. So shift your focus.
Perfect.
That works.
Any other
Ma'am, the another question is like this: how to maintain happiness both at home and in the workplace?
Balance. Balance, decide your priorities every day, balance them out. Today, my work is my priority. Tomorrow, family has to be my priority. Tomorrow, myself has to be my priority. So keep balancing that throughout. I think that works.
Whatever you love getting aligned with, some of the good ideas. If you're too passionate listening to music, if you're too passionate about singing, throughout your day, during the day, give a little time of yourself to yourself, so that you are in a position to create that happiness factor. Your hormones, if are generated it continues for you for a longer period of time. And every day, take out that little time for your own self. It is important.
Okay, teachers, from your side, any more questions, or you may use the chat box? Okay, ma'am, one more question. How to prioritize the activities in our daily life?
Again, your priority, I personally feel that your priority should be decided by your goals in life, what your ultimate goal in life is. So, and then you also need to weigh your priority on that balancing scale. That is your priority going to harm you and harm those 5 balls of your life? So you weigh your priorities on those 5 balls and 5 aspects. How is it going to affect your spirit? How is it going to affect your family? How is it going to affect you? But that is your spirit, your health. And that's how you can decide your priorities.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
Lani, miss?
Diana, please.
Yes,
Yeah.
Naina.
Ma'am, can you walk me through your typical work day? How it's like? A typical work day.
There's no typical work day. It basically depends upon how the day starts today. It's sunny and bright, the environment around, the children who come around, the special aspect of the day today. Say, supposing today we are celebrating Teachers' Day, so the day revolves around that. But otherwise, the day starts with, for the school, for myself, it starts with my meditation as well as my saying thank you to my Lord for everything. I love to cook for my family. I cook for my family with my meditation at a physical level, because I personally feel that when I am putting that meditation and that spiritual food into the food, it is going to help balancing my family's mind and works on the spirit of my family. After that, a regular routine to the school. I try to maintain that punctuality aspect by keeping that margin of time. We live in a city like Delhi, but in case I am not able to meet that target, no problem. Generally, I'm never late, but one fine day, if I have been, I apologize for that to my staff. I am the principal, nobody is going to question me. But again, I set an example. So hence, I do not take that so much on myself that I stress myself, my heartbeat level goes up, my blood pressure rises. So that's how we need to, these are small things. I made that effort. I was able to achieve it. I was not able to achieve it. Rest is circumstantial. Hence, that's one way of controlling the stress around you. We should try. I did not try, I'll be guilty. Then I start the day with my children in the school with that silence period I spoke of earlier. We started with physical silence. We moved to the mental silence. After that, we have a home rule period. The home rule period is the period of the class teacher where the house mistress rules. The mistress of the house rules, and they have a chatting session amongst themselves. Children share their things. The teachers share theirs. So whatever they've come up with in the previous day, or maybe that day, they had the ideas that they have for 20 minutes. They have their attendance. We have an assembly. The assembly has a very typical sequence wherein everybody gets an opportunity. We crack a joke. We have our laughter class. And then every class has a 5 minutes of chatting and discussion with the teacher, because it is a very important life skill that we allow our teachers. My teachers have been sharing, and there are times and days when the teachers do not teach at all. As ma'am earlier was mentioning that, what did we do today? Nothing. So yes, there are days when we don't do anything. So there has to be, I mean, and the routine has to be set on a daily basis. No plans work. Major plans do not, but yes, goal setting does.
There is a difference between plan setting and a goal setting. So this is where we need to learn. Just putting up the activities may help for that day, but having a goal in mind that across this 1 month, I need to make sure this is happening. On a daily basis, small things will keep adding to it.
And no rigidity on it.
No
I have not been able to achieve it. No problem. Because that's how you become hard on yourself. That is going to ultimately stress you, your family, your friends, your children. So hence, set your goals, keep your actions in mind, take the best of the actions, and then leave it.
one mistake, ma'am, usually we ladies, some of us may be doing that. If you have to leave your house at 8 o'clock or somewhere for the school or for your office, getting up at the last minute is something we do the worst thing, because in say mujhe koi kaam nahi hai, oh, I'll just get up, get ready and rush. This is where we do a biggest mistake. If we do not give time in the morning hours to ourselves to really align ourselves in a right manner, I think we are already getting up with the stress. The moment we get up and we already hush and we know how we have to run, a whole day you won't be able to take a good control of yourself.
What in that vicious circle of running.
Is important. Make if you have to leave home at 8, make sure you are already up by 5. And then you have time of 5 to 7 with yourself, the way you want it, the way you mold it. The already planning keeps happening in your mind. Mind is 60,000 thoughts over a day you're creating, and which is 90% is usually a junk. But then
First most important thing is that cup of tea, coffee, whatever we have in the morning, or maybe green tea or a glass of water. Sip it thoughtfully and mindfully. That works.
That works.
That works.
So first hour, couple of hours decides your whole day, and then accordingly it helps.
The tone is set.
So let's say.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So any more queries, teachers? Okay. So now our faculty, Ms. Dalia Bhattacharya, will now propose the vote of thanks. Good evening. Our honorable resource person for today's evening, Dr. Namita Sharma ma'am, Ms. Davinder Kaur ma'am, Rosie ma'am, Betty miss, Shirin miss, all my dear colleagues, dear parents who have joined us this evening. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose the vote of thanks for today's session. I, on behalf of the management and our Excelsior family, extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to Namita ma'am and Davinder ma'am, who spared time from their busy schedule to be here with us today. In a fast-paced world, many of us struggle to strike a balance between work and personal life. Maintaining work-life balance is hence very essential to improve the emotional and mental stability of a person. By identifying our priorities and setting our boundaries and goals, we can strike that balance in our personal and professional life. As ma'am said, the balance has to be within us. Thank you, ma'am, for all your valuable inputs and suggestions that you have shared with us today. It was indeed a very relevant topic for all of us to discuss. And I know for sure that there were indeed a lot of takeaways for all of us from today's session. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record my hearty thanks to our school management for organizing such wonderful and effective in-house training sessions for us from time to time. Once again, thank you all. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we have come to the end of the session. Thank you once again. Thank you, Namita ma'am, and thank you, Davinder ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you. Same to you.